behind him.
Oh my God.
And it looks like he's moving with the driver's side door completely open now. So he's got the driver's side door open, continuing this joyride northbound on the 5 freeway at Flower Street is where this is now coming to a little bit of an erratic end here. After slowing down, you can see he's just stepping out of the vehicle, but this is not what he's being told to do. They want to see him put his hands and arms outside of the vehicle. Now he's just walking out of the vehicle. We're going to widen out just in case anything unpredictable happens here. But he is just acting very erratically. The driving was erratic, and the way he just opened that door with the car still moving there and just stepped out of the vehicle, obviously something is going on with the suspect.
Yeah, that is not what they want to happen. They want the person to throw the car keys out of the window and then get out and have their back toward the officers and then get down on the ground.
Thankfully, there is a whole contingent of CHP officers. They were ready for the end of this pursuit, which is now a felony stop, but there's no need to wait for additional backup. They have everybody they need, all the resources in place they need to deal with this suspect. They have all of the resources at their availability, including use of force and less lethal force, God forbid that's necessary. But this suspect now standing next to his vehicle, looks like he may be complying, but you can see a number of officers with their weapons out and ordering this suspect to probably turn around, I would imagine, and face away from them. Right now he's facing them about maybe, I would say, 30 feet in front of that closest officer there. So they are giving him orders. Obviously, it's a little loud down there with the sirens and the helicopters and all of the commotion, as you can imagine. But this suspect, who's been driving very erratically, still acting fairly erratic with his, he's waving his hands and arms. We don't want to zoom in too much here, but we can give it a little tighter there, Rob, if we push in just a little bit. I don't think that he is armed. I don't see anything in his hands there. Do you?
I do not.
All right, I think we can go ahead and push in just a little bit more, and it looks like they may be asking him to lift his shirt there. Just a little hard to tell from my vantage point.
They hit him
and
with
it
a
looks
less
like
than lethal.
they're gonna take him down here, right here on the freeway. Obviously, a very unpredictable suspect here, and they were forced to act very quickly here. Wow. Look at this.
That's how they're supposed to do it when you've got an uncooperative suspect. Although the knee to the body, I'm not sure is what is required here. That is a police officer there. That is not a CHP officer who was administering those knees to the suspect's midsection. But the swarm is a tactic that was enacted by LAPD and other agencies after the Rodney King incident in dealing with an uncooperative suspect, so you don't have officers standing there tasing someone repeatedly or something like that. So they all just jump in, everybody grabs a limb and basically immobilizes the person. The knee to the torso is not something we ordinarily see, and I want to make note of what we just saw here.
Yeah, something happened down there that prompted that initial rush. I mean, they rushed him very suddenly. It was very clear that he wasn't complying and didn't appear to be cooperating. And I thought I saw him lift his shirt. And whether they saw something they didn't like or he just was refusing to comply, they felt like they were forced to make a decision there and rush the suspect, charging at him as he was kind of starting to run away from them. And eventually they took him down, I believe, possibly, from what I'm hearing, possibly with less than lethal force.
Yeah, it looks like something hit him and bounced off. And he crumbled as soon as it hit him, and you could see what looked like, what I thought, Michelle, looked like a beanbag round that bounced off him and landed on the street.
You could see like a ricochet. And maybe we can re-cue that video. I'm not sure if it's possible, but if we can, we'll definitely play it while we continue to watch this. A major freeway is shut down now as police deal with the suspect. This is the I-5 northbound at Flower, where this came to an end. The vehicle eventually rolling to a stop, perhaps running out of gas, and this driver opening the car door before the vehicle had even stopped.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News YouTube channel.